We are back for part 2 of the Week 5 preview here on the Audible. Cecil, Lammey, Sigmund, Bloom, Houston Texans, Baltimore Ravens. Boy, this season's different for both of these teams, huh?
Right.
Let's start on the Texans side and what fantasy jams could possibly be looking forward to against a Baltimore defense that's not so very good.
Cease. These two teams are 1-3, but it could not be more different 1-3 as far as the direction. And this is going to be an interesting game as a gut check game for Baltimore and for Houston starting on the road side. Hey, Baltimore's defense is, I don't see the comic book movie Cease, like Thanos disintegrates or something. I don't know, but that's what's happening to Baltimore's defense right now. So Houston's offense has some momentum coming off of a game against Tennessee. CJ Stroud, a fine streamer, covering Caleb Williams. Maybe he could even be better than your starting option like Baker Mayfield, who's banged up. We got Woody Marks. Good piece from Dan Graziano. He's been around forever, saying rookies are the role's going to grow. Woody Marks, Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, Brashard Smith. There's some rookies who are going to see larger roles going forward. So Woody Marks is a running back too this week. Nick Chubb is at least a flex play. Maybe he's a running back too, because Baltimore, the soft underbelly, well, the whole defense is made out of soft underbelly right now, but that Houston wants to run. That Houston wants Nick Chubb to set the tone. Of course, Nico Collins is going to be in your lineup. Just going to watch and see if Jaden Higgins, the rookie, can build off of that touchdown. Not in lineups yet, but maybe create some momentum. He has more to offer than Xavier Hutchinson or Christian Kirk. Dalton Schultz even, you want to just bank 3, 4, 5 catches and get a safe play. Kyle Pitts is on by. Tucker Kraft is on by. But yeah, this is a little bit of a surprise as we look at Baltimore as the defense against the Houston offense. The Baltimore defense is definitely the weaker fighter in this matchup.
Yeah, the weaker fighter. What's wrong with Derrick Henry?
Yeah, I mean,
just father time?
I don't think so. I mean, he's hitting his top speeds. We've seen the long touchdowns. It could be a little bit mental with the fumbles. We know that fumbles are a little more, there are technique issues with fumbles. Get Matt Waldman's RSP, everybody. But I don't think that's the issue with Derrick Henry. I think that, we have to give credit to some good defensive plays. And also, defenses have been focusing on him as the player they want to take away. And it's been successful. And Houston's probably going to do the same thing, attack the ball, attack Derrick Henry, because it's likely going to be Cooper Rush. I know they haven't closed the doors Thursday morning as of yet. Oh, Lamar Jackson's going to try to play. He's not going to play. He's not going to play until after their bye in week 8. So does that mean maybe more Justice Hill? Justice Hill with a couple of big plays last week in the losing effort. Also, if they fall behind because of their defense, Justice Hill could play a larger role. And maybe just Cooper Rush and taking advantage of more of his short, high percentage passing. That's Justice Hill. That's Mark Andrews. I think Zay Flowers is still a safe wide receiver 3 flex type, but the upside is evaporating. Also, remember Ronnie Stanley getting hurt. They're excellent left tackle, ankle injury. I don't think he's going to play this week. I'll be watching for that. Things went downhill also. What's wrong with Derrick Henry? What's wrong with this offense? Well, now they don't have Ronnie Stanley. So Baltimore, this is a team with the Rams up next week, looking at going into their bye 1-5. So again, a gut check game. What does John Harbaugh have in his coaching bag of tricks to get his team ready for this game?
Tennessee, Arizona up next. This one should be shorter because Tennessee, Arizona, and the Tennessee side. I did get to write about Tajay Spears yesterday on our Football Guys newswire. So Spears might be back to practice, still might be some time away, but
right.
Let's talk as much Tennessee as we can, which should be brief.
Not much. Yeah, Tony Pollard is still, it's 4 teams on bye, so he's a running back 2 or a flex. We're just watching to see if Cam Ward can make some progress, not facing the Houston defense, facing the Arizona defense. Calvin Ridley fading fast. Wonder if he's going to get traded. And I don't know, Gunnar Helm coming on, Chigo Okonkwo. Maybe he's going to be splitting that tight end target role. Yeah, Tennessee, just baby steps at this point.
Yeah, baby steps at this point. And then Arizona side, speaking of baby steps, there's Kyler Murray with those baby steps. So, run around like he stole his mom's iPhone every time he carries the football. With Trey McBride, that's very good. With everyone else, we've got questions, especially now in that backfield. Amari DiMercado,
right?
We're talking Michael Carter, some changes in Arizona's backfield now.
Cease, I think you just came up with if you, I mean, maybe you heard it from somebody else. I don't know. Runs like he stole his mom's iPhone. I mean, that's a good one.
Watch Kyler Murray, it's what it looks like every single
Yeah,
time.
yeah, it's great, and it's not offensive, right? I mean, sometimes,
Oh, I
uh,
don't care if it is anyway. Get as offended as you like, that's what I say.
well, I mean, he's got a cutest little baby face, and he's the offense. Kyler Murray is. You mentioned it, Cease, about this backfield. Now you're down to the third string running back. And Michael Carter says he's going to be the starter. He also can catch some passes out of the backfield, but he's more of a what the heck flex. Amari DiMercado probably more on the hurry up drives and passing downs. But it's Tennessee, so you would hope Arizona can control this game. And that's why I just say keep tabs on Bam Knight. Because first of all, we love any running back named Bam. But also, this is a guy who came on, going into training camp. See, so I always like the stories of the guys that going into training camp, nobody has them making the 53, and then they make the 53. So he won over the team. Now, Michael Carter is more experienced, DeMarcado is more experienced, but the guy named Bam, he might be able to bring something to this offense that they don't on early downs. And in a game where Arizona should be nursing a lead in the second half at home, this could be a game where we see some Bam Knight. We know we're going to see a lot of Trey McBride. And then we want to see if Marvin Harrison, slow down, brain. Marvin Harrison, we saw him bottom out last week. And let's give some credit to Kyler Murray or to Arizona as a team, catches a key touchdown in the comeback effort, see if he can carry that momentum over against a Tennessee team that sees, keep your ringer on during the show because they might be calling you to be the interim head coach for the rest of the season.
Perhaps. Might be calling on Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold to reminisce about the Carolina days. I like what Baker said, like, no, we don't do that.
No.
What good days from Carolina. But Buccaneers and Seattle is up next. On the Buccaneers side, Bucky Irvin in a boot. We're recording Thursday morning. He was in a boot Wednesday. It's not great, Bob. So you could be starting what? Rachaad White and Sean Tucker? Sean Tucker alert, everybody. Scramble, fantasy GMs, as the Buccaneers might be look a little different this week.
Yeah, I mean, this team is just trying to make it until they get everybody healthy. They did get Tristan Wirfs back. They did get Chris Godwin back, so hopefully knocked off some of the rust. Baker Mayfield's banged up now. Problems. Even Sterling Shepard is a little bit banged up in this game. So you look at Baker Mayfield. I mean, yeah, he found a way to get those 70-plus yard touchdowns, but other than that, he didn't really do much against Philly. He just kept fighting, but probably there are other quarterbacks you might play over him in this week. Ibuka is going to be in your lineup. Chris Godwin, probably because there's 4 teams on bye. What the heck, flex maybe. But the backfield, it's going to be interesting to see how they deploy these guys. I look, Bucky Irving, and not just a boot, he's crutches and a boot. And this is one of those shadowy things where like he might be able to play this week, but really, I mean, he might not play for 3 or 4 weeks. When you hear foot injury and running back, not great. Now, on the other side of this, Zach Charbonnet returned pretty quickly from his foot injury, but I think with Bucky Irving, he's so crucial to this team that you don't want to bring him back too early. So Rachaad White's going to get probably the larger role this week because of passing downs. Certainly in PPR leagues, he has some appeal as a running back too or a flex. But Sean Tucker is a player that, again, 192 total yards on, I think, 16 touches here in New Orleans last year. And they've been talking him up so much. Could he be the early down back? Could he be a running back that they have some plans for mix in? So more of a add him to the end of your bench. He has more potential for the next few weeks, but maybe not this week because this is a tough Seattle defense. And this is one of those games, Cease, where you almost feel like at a certain point you might have to take Baker Mayfield out of the game to protect him from himself because this is a vicious Seattle defense and they've got a vicious running game.
Yeah, two-headed backfield, of course. And so we're going to continue on with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet, Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm not starting him. I'm not even what the heck flexing him, but I am always monitoring Elijah Arroyo in that game as we see Sam Darnold continue on under pressure, doing well. Let's talk Seattle.
Yeah, it is a run defense for Tampa that is tough. I don't think that means put Kenneth Walker on the bench for your fantasy team, not with 4 teams on bye. And I think Zach Charbonnet is a much less attractive what the heck flex, below those Arizona backs and so on, because you're just, maybe he'll get a short rushing touchdown. But I do think this is a game where more falls on Sam Darnold's shoulders. Between the 2 quarterbacks in this game, I think Sam Darnold is the better fantasy quarterback. And because it's Tampa who you more have to attack through the air, unless you're Philadelphia. Don't tell A.J. Brown that. But you've got, of course, Jackson Smith and Jigba, but maybe Cooper Kupp is a what the heck flex. Maybe Torrey Horton is a what the heck flex. You mentioned Elijah Arroyo. Cease, I have to start him because I've got Tucker Kraft and Kyle Pitts on by one of my dynasty teams where I lost to Mike Clay by 0.05. But this show's not about me. This is about your team. And, Seattle is a team that is showing they have balance on offense. I think this team is built to last, although Tampa is always a tough out. So this is going to be an entertaining game.
This is going to be an easy one to throw to you, Bloom, because it's Lions versus Bengals. Start all your Lions.
Right.
Jameson Williams, what the heck flex if you're pessimistic? Hell, he might perform like a wide receiver 1 this week against Cincinnati because they don't play defense.
Yeah. The Lions, Coliseum, ancient times. Because the Lions and the Bengals, though. So it's Lions and the Tigers. But yeah, this feels like for the Bengals a very tough spot. Because Detroit is showing us that they can run the ball, they can pass unless they're playing the Packers in Lambeau. Also, their defense can get pressure, their defense can force turnovers. I have, as my first note under Detroit, Cease, all you can eat. All you can eat, right? All you care to eat. Because the Cincinnati defense's ineptitude, you watch this on Monday Night, Cease, their ineptitude is one of the strongest forces in the league, right? Like, which offenses and defenses influence games the most? Cincinnati Bengals defense might be at the top of the list. And because of that, make sure you get David Montgomery back in, even though he had a rough time of it against Cleveland. Every running back does, except for Jahmyr Gibbs. Jameson Williams. And look, this offense is good enough. Cease, they can go in and be like, this week we're going to get Laporta touchdowns. Remember how Laporta didn't do much for like the first 4 weeks and he got 3 touchdowns? Maybe this is a Sam Laporta game. I think it was 3. Maybe this is Jameson Williams catching 5 passes for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. I would not have your key Lions on the bench here. That also includes Jared Goff, the rare outdoor start for Jared Goff. And as we turn to the other side, Cease, this is going to be bad. This is we're both dads. We're allowed to make dad jokes, right? Right?
Sure.
Jake Browning is burnt, cooked, done. Maybe it's time to. It's not just brown anymore. It's black. It's dying.
I hope he wears the brown pants with as much pressure as he's going to be underneath again. So yeah, I mean, you're hoping for garbage time for T. Higgins, Jamar Chase.
Cease, what we're probably looking at, I think, is the possibility. And Bob Harris, after we talked about the trade deadline coming up in a few weeks, Russell Wilson. I think you're going to see Russell Wilson as the Bengals quarterback. I think you're going to see it in the next few weeks.
Because I'm sorry, Cincinnati.
Yeah, well, he's the one they can afford. He's the one that they'll pay for. They won't pay for Kirk Cousins. They're not going to pony up for that. So because Jake Browning, you're getting the questions now that what happened? What can they do to help him? He looks rattled. He looks like he's not hanging in and willing to make those throws downfield. Detroit is going to sweep the leg. Kelvin Shepard, love his press conferences. So, Jamar Chase, you have to leave him in the lineup. Chase Brown with 4 teams on by, probably a flex play. T. Higgins, just because you never know, a what the heck flex or a flex play. But it isn't just how good Minnesota's defense is or how good Denver's defense is, because we've seen those defenses show some flaws. So Detroit's defense, again, what we've seen from them the last few weeks, in some ways, Detroit was the one who put the Ravens into the tailspin that they're in now. So yeah, this should be child's play for Detroit on both sides of the ball.
4 games down, 3 games to go, plus what the heck flex. It is the Audible Week 5 preview part 2. Cecil, Lammey, Sigmund, Bloom, celebrating 20 years of the Audible. Help us out here on YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. And we go Commanders and Chargers is up next. And, well, again, Thursday morning, but we're feeling good, question mark, about the availability of one Jaden Daniels.
He's back to a full practice, so he's going to start. And a good test to see how much of this offense he can shoulder. Now, the Chargers defense was one that we thought was pretty good, but last week against Jackson Dart and the Giants, there were some things that they were able to take advantage of. They were able to win. Can Cliff Kingsbury come up with a game plan to exploit some of those things? I think we're probably going to have to see Jaden Daniels running and scrambling, running by design, even though he's coming off of that knee injury. 3-headed backfield. Again, Dan Graziano warning some of these rookies. Rashard Smith, we're talking about, we're going to get there. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, maybe, if they can stay in this game. because that's the thing. Jane Daniels probably not going to have Terry McLaurin. It's Thursday morning. Deebo Samuel didn't practice. I hope they have Deebo Samuel, but you're going to see probably Jalen Lane, Luke McCaffrey, um, Chris Moore. Zach Ertz is going to have to help this passing game because it's the Chargers against the Washington defense. I mean, we're going to get there, but Washington should be going into games looking at how their secondary and their passing defense is playing, thinking we got to score 35 to win. Certainly against Justin Herbert, you would expect that. So it's going to be a lot on Jaden Daniels' shoulders, and I almost feel like you just want him to make it through this game healthy.
Yeah, make it through the game healthy, and I'm watching to see if he's got chemistry with Luke McCaffrey because last 2 games, 2 TDs for the son of Ed,
Mm.
brother of Christian, one Luke McCaffrey. Let's talk about the Chargers and, well, lots and lots and lots of Marion Hampton. So if you're the Commanders, just deal with that and somehow deal with Quentin Johnston.
Yeah, Quentin Johnson, that number 1 receiver for fantasy. Keenan Allen, it gets this matchup. I mean, you're not going to be putting anybody. Michael Penix came back to life. Drake London had his best game of the year. Even Rondé Gadsden is a deep what the heck tight end after what Kyle Pitts did against Washington last week. And then Ladd McConkey. This is it, right? This is the get right game for Ladd McConkey. If you're on the fence, if you're like a Ladd McConkey or just play Ladd McConkey, he's that good. It only takes 1 against this kind of pass defense. And then, as you said, Marion Hampton has arrived, and he's showing us that he might be top 3 running back going forward, league winner. This is a game where he set up for multiple touchdowns and over 100 total yards. No problem.
All right, no problem for the Buffalo Bills this year at home facing the New England Patriots. So, Patriots side first, Bloom. How are they going to try to hang? They can't, but try to hang with the Bills on Sunday.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because I didn't think Miami was going to hang with Buffalo, and they did. But it is a good test for Drake May, because who has he really played? The Raiders defense, the Miami defense, Carolina. Those are 3 of the worst defenses in the league. And the Steelers, who were kind of one of the worst defenses in the league, getting better, but they also coughed up the ball like 4 times against the Steelers. So they were moving the ball against the Steelers. Can they move the ball against Buffalo, whose defense is getting healthier? Drake May, he's a quarterback 1. We know that. Otherwise, Hunter Henry, borderline tight end 1, ups and downs. Stephon Diggs coming off of a good game. But this is a really tough passing game to project week to week. And this is a Buffalo passing game, even though Miami hang with them. It wasn't like Tua Tagovailoa lit them up. There's a 3-headed backfield. If you're going to play one, it's Ramondre Stevenson. He's still the passing down back. And you would think if Buffalo builds a lead, then that's going to be the mode they're going to be in. We expect more Ramondre Stevenson on the field. And yeah, this is just a good yardstick game for May, a good yardstick game for the Patriots. They're not ready to challenge the Bills for division supremacy yet, but they can see how far along they've come a month into the season.
It's a measuring stick, right? It's all about measurements. And with the Buffalo Bills, they're well ahead of everybody. Every advanced metric says they're going to win the Super Bowl. Okay, well, just do it then. Sick and tired of talking about it. It's been forever.
Yeah.
So, well, how do they do it? Lots of James Cook and then spreading the ball around. No wide receiver 1.
Right.
Because there's just too many weapons.
Yeah, and everything's on track. It's that Cook-Allen offense. And you're going to see, I think, Khalil Shakir in your lineup. Again, 4 teams on bye. You saw him take that screen pass, rumbling, stumbling, bumbling for a touchdown last week. Keon Coleman, a what the heck flex, might draw some Christian Gonzalez. And again, Buffalo's not going to put the ball at risk. First turnover of the year last week. And then we have Dalton Kincaid, caught a touchdown. So even though the targets weren't there, it was okay. And you would think against New England, remember, New England's pass defense, pretty weak. They got Christian Gonzalez back. And, well, Carolina didn't really test them. Pittsburgh didn't really test them. But in the first 2 games of the year, passing game, very successful. So expect a successful night. And for Josh Allen passing game, if Drake May can play well, maybe they'll do a little more this week.
Maybe. Maybe the Chiefs figured it out. Maybe the Jaguars are damn good and ascending. Like, that's what we have to talk about next. Chiefs and Jaguars up. And let's talk about the Chiefs. The return of Xavier Worthy, who meant the return of Kansas City doing something. Are they going to run the ball a little bit more? This is a primetime game on the road against Jacksonville, and they just started to click. It's week 5. Does that clicking continue, or is that a bad cylinder in your engine.
Yeah, right. It's my knee replacement. I got to get my replacement replaced. Hey, Kansas City is fun. You like you said, it's football should be fun. Boy, this offense is fun. And with Worthy back, Xavier Worthy's a borderline wide receiver one until Roshy Rice is back. You have Marquise Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, Tyquan Thornton's roles shrinking. He scored last week. Yeah, they're what the heck flexes at best. And then Travis Kelce. There's touchdown leverage here because of how many points Kansas City is putting on the board and how open up the offense is. And again, if they're not attacking, I know Kareem Hunt had like 13 carries for 38 yards last week, and you did have Isaiah Pacheco getting a receiving touchdown. But these are desperation plays across the board, and you just hope to see Brashard Smith starting to play something like the Jerick McKinnon role that was a league winner a few years back, because he's the one with some juice in the backfield, and they're having fun. That's the thing. I mean, this is they can start uh, adding in more plays to leverage even Jalen Royals, who's getting back on the field, because it seems like that conservative, let's win with defense, winning 2017. No. Look what they did to the spirit of one of their main rivals, the Ravens, last week. Like you said, the Jags might be coming up thinking they're a rival. Well, that home Monday night game, Chiefs have other ideas.
Yeah, Chiefs have other ideas. Jacksonville has a questionable quarterback
Yeah.
and weapons around him, including Travis Etienne. Now, I do love the rookie running backs. And, this year, I feel like Bashal Tootin, there's a few guys, Bashal Tootin, Jaden Blue. These are the rookie backs where you may like the popular band, but no. They were influenced by this other band. Wait till these guys come up. So we're waiting on Tootin to do a little bit more than crazy what the heck flex. Wouldn't start him as that, but still, watch Etienne. Watch to see if Trevor Lawrence can go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes.
Right.
Don't think that's possible.
Right. That's the question. Okay. Because this is a team that's winning in the trenches. The running game and Travis Etienne running the ball outside. It's happening. It's clicking. And that's how they're going to try to set the tone in this game. Long drives, or maybe not long drives if Etienne can get free, mixing in some Bashal Tootin, not putting too much on the plate of Trevor Lawrence. But when we project this game, you have to think there's a possibility that they throw out the running game at some point, because, like you said, Trevor Lawrence instead has to be in a shootout with Patrick Mahomes. Isn't this a game, Cease, where Tuesday morning you imagine a lot of headlines like, are the Jags going to acknowledge that Trevor Lawrence isn't the answer because he can't, in a quarterback-driven game, he can't match a good quarterback? Now, still, that gives Trevor Lawrence some streamer possibilities. It makes you more inclined to play Brian Thomas Jr. The Travis Hunter thing is just sad. I'm not really sure what we do with him. If De'Ami Brown isn't playing on Monday night, maybe Parker Washington is a deep what the heck flex. Brenton Strange, that's the one guy you can count on in this passing game. It's the one guy that seems to have good chemistry every week with Trevor Lawrence. But you can see, Cease, if the running game gets established, if the defense holds up, we're talking about the Jags as a contender. But if the game falls on Trevor Lawrence's shoulders, we might be talking about, is Liam Cohn going to go to quarterback in the next year or two that actually can make his offense work?
Yep. Watching with great interest, just like we are in our ever popular What the Heck Flex. Looking over your lineup, you just need some punch here in week 5. I've got some. Hey, there's Jaden Blue. Hey, here's another rookie, RJ Harvey. Anymore. Torrey Horton is a What the Heck Flex. Jameis Williams more than a What the Heck Flex, but don't forget to put him in. Luke McCaffrey again. We'll see if him and Jaden have the same chemistry as him and Mariota did. And Darius Slayton, probably more than a What the Heck Flex, but he's mine, Bloom. And this is my list. How about your list in week 5?
And notice now we're in the bye week gauntlet. Got to get deeper, dig a little deeper for these what the heck flexes. They might not even be flexes. They might be, running back 2s or wide receiver 3s. Running backs, you got the Arizona backs, you got the Tampa backs. Rico Dowdle, as we're watching this Chuba Hubbard calf situation, he'd probably be the best of this group. Nick Chubb, Justice Hill, Ramondre Stevenson, even though it's a 3-headed backfield, New England's probably going to play from behind. And I'll throw Ollie Gordon out there because if Carolina is trailing big in the second half like they have in 3 games out of the 4, maybe we see more Ollie Gordon as Miami is in the post-Tyreek Hill era. Speaking of that, Malik Washington, especially in PPR leagues, Alec Pierce is on track to be back. He's that deep there. Alec Eomanor, now officially the number 1 receiver for Tennessee against Arizona. You mentioned Darius Slayton, the third, Wan'Dale Robinson out there too. If it's Thursday, if you're watching, you need someone maybe to play tonight, Kendrick Bourne with Pearsall and Jawan Jennings out. You mentioned Luke McCaffrey. I think that's a good one. Sees Jalen Lane even in that game. You mentioned Torrey Horton. Cooper Kupp, if you're losing some faith in Cooper Kupp, I think the Tampa Bay game is a good game for Sam Darnold to get the ball out quickly. That could mean a lot of Cooper Kupp turning short catches into nice gains. And we're hoping your fantasy team is making gains. As always, the theme is survive in advance. Next week is going to be someone else's team that steps on a landmine. Just make it. Just keep going. Fantasy football rewards perseverance, and you all make it easy for us to persevere to bring you the best shows and the best content of football guys because we love you.
We absolutely do, and we appreciate your support for 20 years of this show. Our audio audience, our video audience here on YouTube, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much to those behind the scenes helping us get this show up there on YouTube. We appreciate you all very much. Make sure to help us out again to like, comment, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss a vid. He is Sigmund Bloom. You follow him on all the socials at Sigmund Bloom. I am at Cecil Lammey. The show is at The Audible. I'm saying stay tuned and stay frosty.